Hello dear friends, welcome to day 10 of painting quick and easy watercolor skies. And here's a stunning sunset that we are trying out today. It's a very simple sky, but the foreground element is very strong. And that is what makes this painting really special. For this one, I didn't use any reference image. I had tried a similar one earlier, and I knew how easy it is to create this stunning sunset. So I wanted to include a similar one in this series as well. I'm very sure this painting will make you either happy or proud at the end. Anyway, let's start by having a look at the colors. For the sky, I'm going to use 3 colors. The first color you see on the top, it is actually a mix of brown and red. This one here. Let me show you how to create that color. So these 2 colors, this one is pyrrole red, and into that, I'm going to add some permanent brown. See that? You will get a rich brownish red. And that's a color I'll be using on the top. Okay, so just mix some brown with any of the red you have got and create a similar color. Or in case if you have Madder Lake red or Alice Arden crimson or any other kind of darker red in your collection, you can use it directly. I'm adding some swatches here of similar kind of reds available in the market to give you a better idea. The next color you will need is orange. This one is brilliant orange. You can go with vermilion or any other kind of orange you have got. Now the third color we need is yellow. This one is cadmium yellow light. It's a beautiful bright yellow. You can go with Cambodge yellow, primary yellow or any other yellow you have got. You will need one more yellow, which is yellow ochre. To paint the lighter side of the sand dunes, we will be using yellow ochre. And then to add the textures, we will use brown. Okay, so this one is yellow ochre. We already spoke about brown. So I think I don't need to swatch it. Now there is one more color you will need, which is Payne's Grey. To add the deeper tones, we will mix some Payne's Grey with brown. You can see on the darker side of the sand dune. So that darker brown is a mix of brown and Payne's Grey. Alright, so that summarizes the colors you will need for this beautiful sunset. Here is a closer look. So the first color is a mix of brown and red. Then you will need some orange, some kind of yellow, then yellow ochre and Payne's Grey. Before we start, let's have a quick look at the steps involved. So we have tried a similar painting on day 1. It was a slightly different color combination and it wasn't this detailed, but the technique is going to be kind of similar. Once we have the sketch ready, we will start with the sky. On the top, we will use a reddish tone, then some orange, and towards the bottom, we will add some yellow. Then to create the sun, we will lift off some paint, and that's the most interesting part about this painting. We'll be painting the sand dunes as 3 different sections. First, we will go with this one at the center. For this section, we will use medium tones, and for the other 2, we will use more of darker tones. Overall, it's an easy painting. You just have to play with different tonal values to create that contrast to retain the glowing effect, that's all. Alright, I hope you all got a rough idea on how to approach this painting. Now let's give it a try. Now let's start by adding the sketch. We need to add a sand dune. I'm going to add only one sand dune, a huge one, right at the center. So from here, I'm adding a line and then I'm taking that down. Now from the tip, I'm adding an irregular line, a nice flowy line. So this line is very important. It is based on this line, we'll add the deeper tones and the lighter tones. Okay. So make it nice, flowy and curvy. Alright. So that is our main element in this painting. Now right behind this, I'm going to add another sand dune over here. It is just a simple line. Add that over here and that's it. So that's our sketch. I think I will slightly modify this line. Alright, so we have the sketch ready. I hope the colors are ready on your palette as well. For the sky, we will need brown, red, orange and yellow. Okay. Now when you have the colors ready, start by applying a coat of water onto the entire sky. Don't add a lot of water onto your sky. We just need a shiny coat. And I'm not adding any water onto the mountain. I'm leaving it as it is. Alright, so the sky is evenly wet. Now we can start applying the paint. And for that, I'm going to go with my size number 8 round brush. And I'm mixing some red and brown together. This one is permanent brown and pyrrole red. Mix them together. Now let's apply that onto the top of the sky. If you want to make the color more reddish, you can add more red into the mix. And if you want to make it more brownish, add more brown. Okay? So those kind of modifications are okay. It's not going to affect your painting. It can be more reddish or brownish according to your choice. Alright, so that's the first color. Now I'm going to clean my brush and I will go with orange. I'm really loving this color. It's a bright reddish brown. Lovely, right? Okay, so I have added enough. Now let me clean my brush. And then let's go with orange. This one is brilliant orange. It's from Shinhan. It's a beautiful color. Again, a bright color. Now gently blend that with red. Let's apply a bit more. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm gently blending the colors. Now let's clean the brush again. There might be some red on it. And I'm picking some more orange. And I'm adding that into the sky. Now I have some leftover space along the bottom. Over there, I'm going to introduce yellow. Okay, so let's clean the brush. And I'm going to pick some yellow. Go with any yellow you have got. And apply that onto the remaining area. So closer to the mountain, the sand dunes, we need yellow. We have a little on this side as well. Okay, just blend that in. Now for the remaining area, I'm going to go with a lighter yellow. So I will clean my brush and I will make yellow lighter towards the sand dune. Okay, so I'm dipping my brush in some water, then dabbing it on a paper towel. Now I'm making this part slightly lighter. Okay, so that's a base layer. We have a brownish red on the top, then some orange, as well as some yellow towards the bottom. Now I'm going to quickly grab a paper towel and then I'm going to dab off some paint from the sky. So before the background dries up, quickly lift off some paint using a paper towel. So we need a white semicircle kind of a shape over there. Do it until you are happy with the result. Alright, so here's our sky and the sun. Next, we are going to paint the sand dunes. So there are 3 sections here. The one on the top and the bottom is going to be the darker tones. And this one here, for that, we are going to use yellow ochre. So with any of your medium-sized brush, grab some yellow ochre. Go with the medium tone. And first apply that onto the entire section. Follow that shape carefully. The shape is really important here. Okay. So go with the similar tonal value, don't make it too light. Now carefully apply that along the line we have here. The shape, that curvy line is really important to get the character of a sand dune. So don't rush, apply it carefully, follow the outline. Okay, I have some more space left at the bottom. Then right after that, I'm going to go in with some brown and I will add some lines onto this background while it is still wet. Okay, so the base layer is almost ready. Now with the same brush, I'm going to pick some brown. It could be brown or burnt sienna. Go with any color you have got. Pick only a little. Go with a medium tone again. If it's too dark, add some water. Now add a few lines onto the surface in a sloping way. See that? Don't add a lot. The major color still has to be yellow ochre. We need some lines in between. So I have added some lines using a medium tone of brown. The lines needs to be in a sloping way and make sure to apply them before the background dries up. Okay, so that's a background and the brown lines. Now with the same brush, I'm going to pick some yellow ochre again, a little bit. And with that, I'm going to smudge these lines to give it a softer look. Be sure your paint is not too watery. If it's too watery, dab it on a paper towel. Okay. Now with a slightly dry paint, smudge those lines. Be very gentle. You don't need to put a lot of pressure. Just run your brush 1 or 2 times until they are looking soft and smooth. Okay, so that is it. That's the first section. Now we'll have to wait for this to dry. And after that, we can paint the other two sections. Alright, so that has dried up. Now we have two more sections to paint. We have one top section and a bottom section. I'm going to start with the top section. And for that, I'm using a smaller brush. The first color I'm picking is some yellow. I will add that onto the top, closer to the sun. And just a little of yellow over here. Next, I will pick some orange. And I will add that next to yellow. Okay, just a bit of orange. So only onto the area closer to the sun, we are introducing some yellowish and orangish colors. And for the rest, we will go with brown. Okay, so over here, add some yellow and a bit of orange. Then smudge it. Okay, next with the same brush, I'm going to pick some brown. And I will introduce that onto either side. If you don't have brown, just go with burnt sienna. That will also work. Okay, again go with a medium tone. Now let's apply that right next to orange and let's smudge it. Okay, that's the kind of tonal value I'm going with. It's not too light. I want a really dark and intense tone of brown. Now carefully follow the outline and introduce some brown. So the sun is towards the right side. So over the left, we have a lot more space to apply brown. See that? Whereas on the other side, we only need to add a little. Anyways, first I will smudge this. So I'm picking a little of orange and I'm spreading that into the background. Okay. Now onto the other side, I will add a bit of brown onto this corner here. Okay. Now towards the top, we need to smudge the colors. It is looking like a patch. So gently clean your brush. Don't pick a lot of water. Now you can go with a light orange or just orange as it is. And then apply that over here. So onto the area which is right underneath the sun, we need a yellowish orange sort of a color. Then onto either side, we can add some brown. So that's how it has turned out. It is looking quite impressive. Now to make that contrast more intense, I'm going to add a little of darker brown. So I'm picking a tiny bit of Payne's Grey and I'm mixing that with brown. And I'm adding that darker brown on either side, only a little. Especially on the right side, there isn't much space. So just add a little over here. Okay, so this will make that contrast more intense. Okay, so that's how it has turned out. You can see the difference it made. Now we have one more section to paint. And for that, I will simply go with brown. First, I will apply a medium tone of brown onto the entire area. Then onto that, I will add some lines, some sloping lines, using a darker tone of brown. Okay, so this one is pretty simple. This one is kind of simple compared to the other two sections. Oopsie, I picked some orange instead of brown. Never mind. So go with a similar tonal value and apply that onto the entire section. It can be brown or burnt sienna. Then after that, we will go with a darker brown and we will introduce the darker tones and shadows to give it more character. And for this one as well, the shape is really important. We need a nice curvy shape at the center, a free-flowing shape. So carefully follow that line. Using any of your smaller brush or a medium-sized brush will be perfect. This way you have a better control. See that? This line is super important when you're painting a sand dune. Now onto the remaining area, I'm going to introduce the same color. Okay. So this one is just the base layer. We used a medium to darker tone of brown. Now with the same brush, I'm going to pick some darker tone, which means I will add some Payne's Grey into brown. Let's pick some Payne's Grey and a bit of brown, mix them together. Now simply add some sloping lines onto this side. You can add in as many lines as you want. Be sure they are sloping down. Okay, so add them in a similar direction. We can add a few more towards the bottom. One there and another one there. Okay, so along that curvy line, add some darker tones like this. Once you're done adding them, we will need to smudge it to give it a softer look. Right now those lines are very prominent. Okay, so add in the lines quickly, then clean your brush. Pick some brown again. Make sure it is not too watery. Now smudge those lines very gently to give it a softer look. It's the same trick we did earlier for the lighter side. Over there we used yellow ochre. Right now we're using brown, that's the only difference. The rest is all the same. Be very gentle when you're smudging them. And also you will have to do this while the background is still wet. Alright, so that's how it has turned out. It's a gorgeous sunset. The sky was just a simple blend of 3 colors, but the sun made all the difference. Anyway, now it's time to peel off the masking tape. Peel off your masking tape at an angle. Don't quickly pull it off. Gently peel it at an angle. I'm really loving this painting, especially the glow we have created here. It was a quick one, and if you're yet to try it, give it a try. Here is a closer look of this painting. I just love the glow and the contrast we have created here. It's a lovely artwork. There isn't a lot of elements, still it is looking very beautiful. And as I said earlier, the sun made a lot of difference. Okay, so give it a try if you're yet to try it, and let me know if you liked it.